There's no better way to get better at football than playing football. So if you want to,
Taylor's gonna finish it.
I've always been confident in my abilities. I think, I'm a guy that can go out there, and I always believe in myself that I'm going to get open and make the play if they throw me the ball.
The third. Ryan, end zone shot for Pierce. He caught
it. Oh, what a... Everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We're here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. My name is Eric Smith, co-host of the Colts Cast. Alongside me, as always, I have co-host Jamal Lawrence here.
Yo, what up?
Yo, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Do all those things. Really helps us out, guys, and it's completely free. Another announcement, we're 2 weeks away from the draft.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing a live stream on YouTube on draft night, and it's going to be fun, guys. We want everyone to join. It'll be a really good time. We'll send out some more announcements about it and what we got planned for it, but just to let you guys know, we'll be live in 2 weeks. But Colts Nation, we got to be excited, right? Officially 2 weeks. It's here. This draft has to be one of the most important drafts of the last decade for the Indianapolis Colts. And I think it all starts with what Chris Ballard is going to do about the quarterback position. What are the Colts' options for draft day? Will we trade with the Arizona Cardinals for the number 3 overall pick? Will we stay put at number 4? Will we take a quarterback or best player available? Trade down for more picks? Value Ballard? Trade for Lamar Jackson. Is that off the table now? Let's talk about it, Jamal. What are we talking about first?
Let's talk about Lamar Jackson first.
Okay.
LJ. So as I'm sure everyone saw, OBJ just signed that contract. It was $18 million, $15 million, something like that. I don't know. A lot of money for OBJ to go to the
15 million, but up to 18 million, I think, with incentives.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why both those numbers are sticking in my head. He's official new receiver for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson was shown or seen just being excited for him, happy for him, all that good jazz. Essentially what that tells me is that the Ravens are going to work out a deal with Lamar. I think Lamar has seen in his agentless streak now that it may have bit him in the butt not having an agent at this point. He's demanded this amount of money he wants, and teams just haven't bid on it. They haven't. And we kind of saw a little bit of the rants that's been going on throughout the past couple of weeks between the Ravens putting out their side of the story and Lamar putting out his side of the story. Essentially it just looks kind of sloppy on both parties' side for between the Ravens and Lamar, and which makes me think that at this point they gotta mend that friendship, because the Ravens not just going to go out and sign OBJ for $15 million with no backup plan. And I think Lamar, that's probably one of his stipulations. I mean, we talked about it. Receivers. Hey, he needed that. He needed a high caliber receiver. He had a chance to get one. Now it's time to restructure that deal. I think Lamar's days of being on the market are about over. Mainly because of OBJ, but secondly because if I were a Colts general manager Chris Ballard or a head coach Shane Steichen, would I have wanted to waste all of this time leading up to the draft just to say, all right, bet we're going to get Lamar now? You could have had him in the building for at least a month at this point, learning the ins and outs of the playbook or kind of meeting with some of the players and all these small things. So I like to think that at this point, that ship probably has sailed and the Colts were going to, scoot on through to the draft and look forward. And I do believe that the Ravens will figure out a way to mend that relationship between them and Lamar, and he'll be a Raven by August.
I think that's the most that's the most likely scenario. Like Lamar Jackson returning to Baltimore. I really don't know about this because we heard Shane Steichen say, according to Stephen Holder, I think he asked whether the Colts have turned their focus solely to the draft as opposed to Lamar Jackson or other QB options. And what he said was, and I quote, "We're focused on the draft and I'm focused on the guys that are in the building right now. That's where we're at," end quote. So a lot of people have interpreted this as they're not going after Lamar Jackson. Me personally, that doesn't really tell me much. okay, we're focused on the draft, as you should be. I'm focused on the guys that are in the building right now, as you should be. That's where we're at. Like, I just don't think they're going to come out openly and say we are heavily pursuing Lamar Jackson at this point. Like you said, they just signed Odell. Big guaranteed money. I think that throws a wrench into things, and it definitely, I don't really see this likely at this point. I think it's a step in the right direction for the Baltimore Ravens, adding a talented receiver to that offense. But I could play devil's advocate. I could say they're setting up their future young QB that they're going to draft with trade compensation. I could say that. Probably unlikely, but you never know, right? And then, Lamar Jackson posted a FaceTime screenshot with OBJ. Looks like he's happy about it. He's digging the addition. They are friends. I think he recruited him. So, yeah, if I had to make a bet, Lamar Jackson's probably going to be a Baltimore Raven in 2023. I think most Colts fans are just tired of taking recycled quarterbacks, even though he would be the best recycled quarterback on the market, MVP type caliber quarterback. I think everyone wants a fresh start, even though Lamar Jackson would be an ideal fit for our offense right now. But, that it's just, I think his prize taking over. He just wants $1 million more than Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed deal. Owners, GMs, that they're not buying that. I think they're trying to reset the market. Deshaun Watson kind of screwed everything up. You could say they're colluding. I would go ahead and maybe say that, but yeah, I think they're all in cahoots to not give Lamar Jackson what he wants. Especially, he's doing it without a rep. It's crazy right now, but I'm starting. I know I've been tweeting a lot about wanting to bring Lamar Jackson. I think it's just pipe dream at this point. I think I'm on board with let's find one in the draft.
There it is.
Yeah, I think especially the OBJ signing kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah.
Although again, devil's advocate, you could say that doesn't really mean much. Like Shane Steichen's words didn't really. That's so open-ended to me, guys. To me personally, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Shane Steichen isn't dumb. He's not going to give away anything. This is his job. He's going to figure out a way, like you said, leave a very open-ended question or statement to the question. But so if Lamar is essentially off the table, like you said, let's go ahead and weigh out our options. So there have been a lot of smoke screens that's been going on. I know we hear something new every single week. This team may want to do this. This team may want to do that. So right now, of course, in the past couple of days, they've been talking about the Houston Texans, saying they potentially do not want to pick up a quarterback at the number 2 spot, or more specifically, CJ Stroud. Find that very interesting to say because I don't know.
I find that very interesting.
What paradox universe that you're not going to take a quarterback at that spot? And it's funny because when I listen to some of the analysts talk about this situation, it just kind of makes me laugh how so many small things can be nitpicked through. I was watching The Herd, I think it was yesterday, and Jason McIntyre was on there saying how, essentially no one should be as hyped over CJ Stroud as they are because his comps versus Justin Fields when he was at Ohio State, Justin Fields was way better. He says he's a more dynamic player all around, just a better player, a better prospect. So why should anyone want to jump from a higher spot to come down to number 2 to pick up CJ Stroud? Which I found that pretty interesting. I did not go back and look at, a bunch of numbers and all of that just because. But I found it interesting because he was standing by his word when he said that. And I was like, all right, I can listen to that. I can entertain that. But I do find it funny, and to think that a team like the Houston Texans, who have, like we talked about, they're going to ride out with Davis Mills. Like, no, that's not going to happen. So why would they want to give up?
I don't know. That's what they're saying. Like they are not hard stuck on drafting the quarterback right now. They are saying, that they'll ride it out with Davis Mills or whoever and take the surefire player, just like a Will Anderson. They'll take that. He's going to be able to produce. He has produced. He has these great traits. He's like an Aiden Hutchinson, like not over the top, uber talented, but like fit all around great. So
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, D'Amico, he could want more defensive players. I mean, we know how he rolls. That will be interesting to see. And and you ask yourself, well, what would the Colts want to do? Would they want to trade up to that number 2 spot to take that? I'll be the first person to tell you. I think there's about a
they're not
0.1%
trading
chance
up
the
to number
Texans.
2.
Yeah, and not only that, the Texans I don't think would trade up that to a division rival. They're not going to watch us move up there and then pick up a CJ Stroud and have to deal with that for the next 10 years. They have to deal with Trevor Lawrence. They're going to make us earn whatever we want to get at this point.
Yeah, I don't that let's not even talk about that scenario. The only available scenario for us would be to trade up to number 3. Yeah, like you said. So Peter King of NBC Sports writes, he wrote for the Texans and he said, I think the Texans are going to go quarterback at 2, but in the last few days I've heard this about Houston GM Nick Caserio, very conservative. If he doesn't love a quarterback at 2, he's not going to force it. He'd rather just take this year's sure edge thing, Will Anderson. So I never agree with Peter King, but I mean, it makes sense. So, they brought in this defensive minded head coach. This quarterback class hasn't panned out to be like, we were talking about this quarterback class a year ago saying, oh, it's a pretty deep quarterback class. It's really good. I don't think that's what the public's eye on it now is. Now we're talking about next year. We're talking about Caleb Williams and all of them. We're talking about that's going to be the quarterback class, the top heavy class now. So now I don't know what to think here. I would like to think, if the Texans pass on a quarterback, the Cardinals, they're going to get so many offers. It's either Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, AR, somebody's going to be available.
Yeah.
And you got to think that there were about, I think Adam Schefter reported 6 teams.
6 teams, yeah.
Probably including the Colts that were in talks of trading up to 3. Look, I just think it all depends. Like, do we fancy Levis? Do we fancy Richardson? What can we do to basically ensure we get our guy? If we trade out of the 4th overall pick to move up to 3, maybe a 3rd round pick in 2023 and a 5th round pick, like we're giving up draft capital to move up 1 spot. Like, do you do that? I don't know. I don't know if the Colts feel strongly about a quarterback to do that. And I think the Texans passing on a quarterback would shake things up on what they actually have to do. So that's why I think this draft night is going to be spectacular. We don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's getting picked at 1. You don't know who's getting picked at 2. You don't know if the Cardinals are picking at 3. You still don't know who the Colts are picking at 4. The whole top 5 is going to be, I mean, there is no, like the draft with Trevor Lawrence. Everyone knew he was going 1.
Yeah.
Draft with Joe Burrow. Everyone knew he was going 1. We don't know what's going to happen in the top 5. It's going to be a fun draft night, I will say.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you talk about how the Texans, again, could possibly not take the quarterback, and then in that situation where if they don't, and then, we have they have that number 3, it's just going to get crazy. I would imagine that any team, Titans, oh my gosh, what's the other team I'm thinking of? I'm a brain fart. Oh man, it'll come back to me. These teams are going to be throwing every egg in the basket if they have a chance to get a CJ Stroud at a number 3 spot. And which, like you said, I don't know, man. Listen, I have a hard time. I have a hard time listening to a lot of the stuff you read because it goes week by week. A month ago during the combine, CJ Stroud, the greatest thing since sliced bread. If you don't take CJ Stroud number 1, you're dumb. There ain't no way CJ Stroud isn't. The Panthers have already got CJ Stroud there. Now all of a sudden, CJ Stroud, he may not be as good as you think he is. Like every day is a roller coaster. You never know.
A lot of mock drafts have Bryce Young going at 1 now. It was CJ Stroud for a month. Yeah. It's crazy, but it's interesting you bring up Justin Fields because he is kind of I won't say a similar prospect to CJ Stroud. But Justin Fields' draft stock actually skyrocketed because of his last playoff performance when he played against Clemson in the Sugar Bowl. CJ Stroud was the same way. Like he wasn't clear-cut number 1. Played against Georgia, phenomenal performance. Shoots up the draft board. I thought that was an interesting parallel between the two of them. But yeah, like CJ Stroud is not as athletic as Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So now there's no clear-cut number one. So I think the simplest solution might not be the best, but we just stay put at number 4. See what's given to us. Don't give up any draft capital. Don't give up any players. You either get QB3 or you get QB4, depending on what Arizona does. Right now, it's looking like AR, Anthony Richardson, or Will Levis, 2 high upside dudes. We've already talked about them in our cases, in our other episodes, making the case for them too. Honestly, guys, I'm just happy with any of the top 4 quarterbacks, and we're guaranteed one of the 4. Richardson, I think, has a slight edge in most eyes. I've seen Will Levis drop in a lot of mock drafts.
Yes.
I check every day. I like to see what other people are thinking, see what they're posting. Like, you either see Will Levis getting drafted by us, maybe by the Raiders or someone in like right when you're about to get to the teens, or he drops to like 28.
Yeah.
That's a far plunge. And I've already said it. There's a lot to like about Levis. I'm not going to repeat myself. You guys watched our episode about him, but you give me a quarterback, like I'm happy. Like I'm taking a shot that night. I'll do a shotgun of a big. It don't matter. Whatever draft night is, if we take a quarterback, one of those top 4 quarterbacks, and we have Shane Steichen, like I'm happy.
Yeah, that's you're right. You are happy, and I'll be happy too. And the Raiders was the other team I was thinking of. I don't know why I could not think of it to save my life. But when I think about that, you just mentioned Will Levis, and besides the mocks where you see us taking him, as you mentioned, he drops to that, number 9, 10, 11, and then drops down to the 20s. Listen, I like Will, but I don't know if I'm willing to just jump on that at the number 4 when, again, and I know it goes week by week, but no one has him projected to be, besides him going to the Colts, he's kind of a non-factor at the quarterback spot at that.
Mel Kiper has him at like his number 2 quarterback prospect. Like it varies where some people have him number 1. It's very few, but there's no clear cut number 1. So I do not see Will Levis dropping. He will not drop to the 20s. I will bet with you guys all night. Will Levis is not dropping that far.
Well, I was gonna say I hope he wouldn't. But what would make me just the happiest person, and I'll take some shots with you too when we draft a quarterback at number 4. I'm not worried about that. It's gonna be when we get Anthony Richardson, because I don't know if any of y'all saw, but I know you saw, Eric, because I actually read your retweet. His letter to the Colts, or not to the Colts, to the coaches and the GMs, aka to Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen. He wrote a long letter just telling Shane and Chris how,
dear Shane Steichen,
if you pick me, I'm gonna do what you need me to do. He didn't address any other NFL team, any other NFL head coaches, or I'm just kidding. He did not have the either any Colts information in there. But in all seriousness, all I read was, I'm gonna bust my ass every single day, and you're gonna remember why you picked me. And that's what we need as the Colts. So like you mentioned, if for whatever reason CJ and Bryce are gone, and we got a chance to get AR at that number 4 spot, let's say the Cardinals keep their spot, man, he put a little extra fire, because he just showed me that he's listened to what the haters say.
Why do you think he felt the need to do that?
I
haven't seen that before, but
me either. Yeah, when I saw your tweet, I was like, what is this? And I opened it and I realized it was like a legit little story he wanted to tell,
a monologue in there.
Yeah,
his life.
I don't know. I mean, I gotta feel like, it's one of those things where he knows where he stands, but I'm sure the pure hatred you see every day, and I don't mean like hatred, but like the haters day in and day out saying what you are and what you aren't, it can probably get under your skin. Now, I can play that both ways. I can say either one thing: are you gonna be emotionally stable during situations where it gets hard? If you feel like now you have to pour your heart and soul out over a letter when you're about to get drafted to the NFL, how's that gonna translate to, later on during the seasons where life's getting hard and you got to figure out? Or are you just literally that fixed on showing, you want to just show everybody, hey man, I hear what y'all said about me my entire college career. Now that I'm about to go to the league, I'm gonna show you why I should be where I am. So I think it could go either way. I don't know. I thought it was very interesting when I read it, though, like you said, because I've never seen that before.
I would be ecstatic if we got AR at
Yeah.
4. That I don't think, I keep saying this, no clear cut number 1. No one's going to be like Colts fans. They're divided on who the best quarterback is, who they want. Everyone's not going to be happy. But I will say, if you're on the train of, if we get a quarterback, one of the top 4 quarterback prospects at the number 4 or higher spot, you have to be happy about just with the Colts draft history. Like, last quarterback I feel like we drafted is Sam Ehlinger, like in the last 5-6 years. Like, come on, guys. It's time to start a new era, Shane Steichen era, and it starts with a quarterback. And I can't emphasize that anymore. Like, it has to be done. We haven't even talked about, like, what if he just decides best player available? He doesn't like any of the quarterbacks. What if he trades down, Jamal?
Hey, listen. Now, here's where it's going to get hairy because, like you said, we could trade down. And when we start talking this trade down talk, hey, you already know what position I'm going to. You already know. I don't care about no inside offensive lineman. I care about the offensive tackle spot. And we know that, we got
even
Paris,
with Ryman and
yeah, I didn't tell y'all, man.
Smith.
I didn't told y'all. Hey, Paris Johnson Jr. is right there. Hey, and from BYU. Oh man, what's his name? I gotta look him up real quick. I forgot his name. Hold on,
But yeah, what if Ballard does the unthinkable? Trade down, bolster our draft capital, maybe take a swing at a day 2 prospect for quarterback. Jaws would drop instantly.
Yeah,
We're talking. Hendon Hooker would be on the table. Tanner Mackey, Jake Hayner, Jaron Hall. The list just goes on and on. Like, that's when, like, my head would explode. That whole we turn off the YouTube stream.
Well, listen, and so what I was gonna say with that is, if we were to do something like get Paris Johnson Jr., I know everybody be all pissy. No one will want to see that, but whatever. Call it what you want. We need a bona fide offensive tackle.
Yeah, I'd blow my brains out on the spot.
We need a bona fide offensive tackle. I think there are only a couple teams who don't have one, but whatever. Neither here nor there.
Hold on, Jamal. Just think about that. We have a top 4 pick.
I know.
Quarterback prospects that could be built into a franchise quarterback, and we're no, we trained down for Paris Johnson. I mean, like, keep going. Go ahead.
No. Well, I was gonna say, you get someone like him. You got, now that the edge is sealed, then you go get someone like a Hendon Hooker, which I know y'all still hating on, but you go get someone like a Hendon Hooker, who people have said he could be the best quarterback, long-term quarterback in this draft. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I think that you look at these people who are established.
36 when he get out of his rookie contract.
Dude, talking like Will Levis ain't only like a year and 3 days younger than him. Like, what are you saying? Must be the banana pills he eating, bro.
At least 2 years.
I think well, maybe. No, I think it's like a year and a half. I really think it's a year and a half.
Oh yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot to me.
All right. Well, I guess, we can always bring it back to, I know many Colts fans probably know this, but do you remember what pick Edgerrin James was for Colts? I believe he was number 3 or maybe number 4. So that's right in the Colts wheelhouse of where we are right now. Everyone love Edge. I mean, the year after Peyton got drafted.
You're talking about Bijan Robinson?
No. I'm just saying that we are in a spot now.
I would actually
numbers
jump
wise.
out my window.
No, I swear to you, if we ever picked up,
although best player available, he technically, I mean, top 2, like prospect wise overall, he is. But the positional value, that's when it plays into effect. He's not getting drafted. He might be a top 10 pick, maybe, but
and so that's why I think about when you say the best player available, and I know people, again, going back to Paris Johnson Jr., when we look at someone like him, offensive lineman's lifespan and their contract after their rookie contract, they're guaranteed, for most of them, they're guaranteed another extended contract. But Bijan, you can look at him after his rookie contract is over, he's going to be on that. He could possibly be on the Ezekiel Elliott train where you're like, all right, well, now we got to try to see where you want to go now, because we know those running backs' lifespan ain't that long. So, of course, he may be the BPA. However, when I think of longevity, if I'm about to go for a VPA and I'm going to trade up for
Absolutely.
I'm definitely going for a core position. I don't care about that running back spot. We see the diamonds, we see the JTs and these guys where you can get later on and you can win with.
I could see the Cowboys, someone like the Cowboys doing that. They're in win now mode.
Yeah.
They got rid of Zeke. Let's pair him with a young guy like Robinson to add to that backfield and push this Super Bowl run now. But
yeah,
Eagles maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it's gonna be a fun draft night.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm jumping in my boots right now just thinking about it because it's gonna be chaotic, and I love chaos sometimes.
Yeah, that clock is gonna run down to 0.01 for the first 5 picks, man. It's gonna be crazy.
What if it's like the first 3 seconds the pick is in? I'd be like,
yo.
No, those are gonna be the longest minutes of our lives.
Yeah,
as Colts fans. But hey, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Coltscast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platforms to listen to the podcast. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, enjoy. Good weekend.